The Backpage Indictment. Written by the Department of Justice. Read by Tony D. Ortega. Part A. Introduction. The website Backpage.com is notorious for being the internet's leading source of prostitution advertisements. Backpage derives the overwhelming majority of its revenue from such ads. These practices have enabled Backpage to earn over $500 million in prostitution-related revenue since its inception. Backpage was created in 2004 by defendant Michael Lacey, defendant James Larkin, and a third individual, CF. From 2004 to 2015, Lacey and Larkin oversaw the website's policies and strategic direction. Additionally, Lacey and Larkin have retained significant control over the website and have continued receiving tens of millions of dollars of Backpage-related distributions since purportedly selling their interests in Backpage in 2015. Defendant Scott Speer served as the executive vice president of one of Backpage's parent companies and held, at times, an ownership interest in Backpage of approximately 4%. Defendant John Jed Brunst served as the chief financial officer of Backpage and several of Backpage's parent companies, and held, at times, an ownership interest in Backpage of approximately 6%. Defendant Dan Heyer joined Backpage's marketing department in or around 2006 and served as Backpage's sales and marketing director. Defendant Andrew Padilla served as Backpage's operations manager. Defendant Joy Vaught served as Backpage's assistant operations manager. The defendants identified above are referred to at times in this indictment as the Backpage defendants. As explained in detail below, the Backpage defendants have utilized a variety of strategies to make it appear that the prostitution ads appearing on Backpage are actually ads for escort services, adult companionship, dating, or other lawful activities. For example, Backpage purports to bar customers from offering illegal services and has periodically used computerized filters and human moderators to edit the wording of or block ads that explicitly offer sexual services in return for money. These strategies are a fiction designed to conceal the true nature of Backpage's ads and customers. Indeed, the Backpage defendants have admitted in internal company documents and during private meetings that they know the overwhelming majority of the website's ads involve prostitution. In one internal document, Lacey actually bragged about the company's contributions to the prostitution industry. Quote, Backpage is part of the solution. Eliminating adult advertising will in no way eliminate or even reduce the incidence of prostitution in this country. For the very first time, the oldest profession in the world has transparency, record-keeping, and safeguards. End quote. Notwithstanding these private admissions, the Backpage defendants have taken pains to mislead the public, regulators, and law enforcement officials concerning the supposed sincerity of Backpage's efforts to prevent the publication of prostitution-related ads. For example, after reviewing Lacey's written description of Backpage's contributions to the prostitution industry and editing practices, Larkin instructed CF to prevent, quote, any of the information in this being made public, end quote. Padilla, who helped supervise Backpage's moderators, threatened to fire any employee who acknowledged in writing that the, quote, escorts depicted in the website's ads were actually prostitutes. Quote, leaving notes implying that we're aware of prostitution is enough to lose your job over, end quote. And in one internal document, Backpage's media strategy was described simply as, quote, do not acknowledge the prostitution, end quote. Many of the ads published on Backpage depicted children who were victims of sex trafficking. Once again, although Backpage has sought to create the perception that it diligently attempts to prevent the publication of such ads, the reality is that Backpage has allowed such ads to be published while declining, for financial reasons, to take necessary steps to address the problem.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?